Good morning, everyone. Here, Coffee Talk today. Beautiful day, right?
Yeah, beautiful.
It
We're
is.
enjoying it.
Beautiful day
Finally.
in May.
Gorgeous day.
My guests here today, Raquel and Jaime of Icon Properties, Main Street, Port Jefferson. Can't beat that. Right in the heart of town. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
It's a long time coming.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
So tell me about your business, Icon Properties. What a strong name. You're right. People should know. Right as you enter the town, you're the village. You're on the left-hand side.
Right.
Single story right there. Beautiful location and great staff. I've met many of them.
Yeah.
Tell me about the business.
So we opened in '04, and it was a dream of mine to open right here in Main Street. I'm originally, from here, from Port Jefferson, and we opened in 2019, and it's been phenomenal. It's a basically real estate residential business. In 19, we were received with open arms. We had our strongest year. We did $59 million in sales.
Wow.
Phenomenal. And we were really, really excited.
So you're a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't everybody think that?
Right.
So everybody listening, that's the gross sales price. And
Yeah.
in Long Island, I mean, you get there pretty quickly.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So definitely got our stride, and we're very excited about, again, the warm, embrace that the community gave
No
us, living here and whatnot, and always wanting to do that. So we're very excited. So we kind of obviously had COVID, and that slowed the whole world down. So now we're back and picking up right where we left off, and we're really, really excited. We have a sales of $800 million year to date as far as the company's existence, and we have over 20 agents in that location.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
You've grown. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So this market is like nothing I've ever seen
Crazy.
before in my life. I don't know about you. I've seen, this is called a thin inventory market.
Right.
I've been told as little as 14 properties are for sale in Port Jefferson.
Yep.
I don't know if this is true. It's incredible.
Crazy.
So you must have a lot of frustrated, the people must be frustrated. They
Yep.
wait in the wings, they're waiting for things to change, or they overpay. Or maybe that's not the right word. They get aggressive and maybe offer over what asking price is.
100%. So it's crazy. And I did see something like this in a seller's market, but not quite in '06 like this. This is definitely has a little more desperation on it. People exited from the city. It was like an exodus, and we were the recipients of all of that. So we had been at a business meeting in January in the city, in the financial district, and we were talking to one of the waiters that were helping us, and it was funny because the restaurant was open. We were so excited, but there was 3 of them. It was a pretty big restaurant, and he said there used to be 30 of us.
Yes.
He said, and now I do all of it, and he said 15,000 residents had exited that specific
That's
area.
incredible.
So where did they go, right? So they came out here. So that's really what we are seeing. We thought that this would calm down, but it hasn't. And that's the good news. Really, you have to be aggressive. You have to have all your finances in order. You have to have a broker that's going to really be able to walk you through winning a bid today, because if you're not dealing with somebody who's experienced, you're really going to lose out on the deal. So it has been really, really crazy. But of course, it's frustrating, right? Your buyer's saying, "Oh, pay ask," and that's not enough. So
It's incredible.
it's crazy. And Kevin, the other thing, I was just on another podcast, and we were talking about things that we're seeing. We're seeing people waive appraisals, waive mortgage contingencies. Like, we'll never advise people of that. I even kill
just
some
want-
deals. I'll advise my buyer, like, don't do it. Like, this is ridiculous. But a lot of agents don't do that, right? So we're seeing a lot. It's like the Wild Wild West. It's really crazy. And so you need a broker that really can navigate through those type of things and, get you the right deal that makes sense. Even if you're going to get into a bidding war, you can't lose everything in the process as well,
Sure.
right? With safety of an appraisal and a mortgage contingency. But that's the stuff we're seeing.
Raquel, for such an operation like this, you need a good director, don't
Yes.
you?
Oh,
Director
my
of
God.
operations. Who's sitting next to you?
Jaime, who is my godsend, present.
I'm sure.
Every morning, I thank God for her. With that, I leave Jaime on there.
Honestly, I do the same. I thank God for her every morning too.
Oh, that's so nice.
I really
Well, you
do.
got her here to do this podcast, so
Yeah.
that counts.
Yes.
What are you seeing? What's your background? Is this blowing your mind?
So I'm actually new to the real estate
Right.
industry, and I actually just got my license about a year ago. So, I mean, everything that I'm seeing, I couldn't agree more with what Rachel has just said. If not, like, even worse. I just put an offer in for one of my buyers, and I had asked the agent if he had other offers over ask, and he said, "Oh, is there anything else?" Like, hinting that, of course, they're all over ask. Like, so yeah, there's no offer that will probably get
That's
accepted
incredible.
if the house is priced right, under ask or at ask. Yeah.
Gotcha. So having this kind of market, it must lead, because you've been around the market much longer, does it lead to any, to be frank, inequities or people doing the wrong thing, so to speak?
That's an interesting question. I'm glad you asked that, Kevin, because I've been thinking about that a lot and talking to a lot of the authorities in our field, and we've been all making sure that we're checking in with each other, like attorneys and lenders. And, one of the big things right now, as you know, is that the interest rates are at all-time low, right? Yeah. So when you actually sit down and you really come to Icon Properties, one of the things that we do is that we sit a buyer through a buyer, process. We give them a 15 to 1 hour, session on all things that are going to happen in the transaction. And one of the things that we added to that just recently, we call it the 5 Ps of the transaction, is how much would you pay over 30 years, right? So if you got an interest rate of 6%, which was the, standard, how much would that cost you over 30 years versus the $50,000 or $75,000 that you're going to overpay today? It's pennies in comparison. So when you're able to, empower your buyers in that way, they understand it. And we actually just launched that because we spent so much time with the buyers and we realized that there was something broken. I'm like, a buyer calls you, you're off to the races, you meet them in the back of your car, they're signing docs, and we really need to meet with them and create an environment that they understand, because the National Association of Realtors did a poll last year actually, and the year before. It's consistent, and the number one thing that the basically industry was asked, what would you want for your agent to do for you differently? What are you not getting? And clear as day, they said over and over again, I like to understand the transaction. So that's when
the complexity
Jamie,
of the transaction up
yes,
front before they even get to the
what's going
transaction.
on? What are the steps?
That's fair.
Yeah, and
More
so
than fair. It's the biggest
when I told
purchase of their
Jamie
life.
this,
Yeah,
she created
exactly.
this whole packet, and we're really excited. And we're just at the infancy of it, but it's basically, the idea is I'm going to sit with you in my office, or even if it's at Dunkin' Donut, I'm going to bring this already made packet that's going to go through. Listen, we're probably not going to really understand all of it. As you know, Kevin, having had a background in real estate, it is very complex. You're buying a house, not a pair of shoes.
Right.
So it is very complex, but at least you'll have an overview of what to expect. And having said that, now we've added the whole, mortgage rate versus overpaying $50,000, $75,000, and then you can make that decision yourself and feel confident moving forward if it's the right decision for you, or should you wait?
You know what's strange about this market? Because the prices are so high and the demand is so high, you probably would even advise certain type of buyers to be like, hey, keep renting. Even though that's weird too, because rentals are through the roof. So you're paying, I know this for a fact, $3,000 for a rental without batting an eye, all around here. And you can own for $2,200. So that's even more frustrating. That's the conflict. Right there is, to me, the conflict.
Yeah, that's the conflict.
And not having, and this is where you come in probably with what you're trying to explain to buyers, not having the write-off, right? Because you're paying rent, but you don't have a write-off. That write-off is very valuable for New Yorkers.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible. So day to day, you're managing people and managing deals. You have 20 people you're managing. They're under your umbrella.
Correct.
That's
Well,
incredible.
you say it like that.
I hate to tell you, that's what you're doing.
I don't do it alone.
Yeah,
Just trust and
but you're
believe.
responsible for them, ultimately.
I have an amazing team of people. One of the things, Kevin, that I've learned early on in my career was surrounding myself with winners and great people, right? And like they say, know what you don't know, right? So I'm great at a lot of things, but I certainly can do better in a lot of areas. So I surround myself with people that compliment me in that way. And then in turn, I compliment them. And so it makes for a great
Very smart.
culture. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So something's happening also that you're doing on the side. Is it a give back thing? I understand there's a faction of your business that is a charity, correct?
100%. And basically, we always wanted to give back. We were so excited and, happy in 19 when we had such a great year. And we were like, enough is enough. This is the time to do it. So we opened a charity called Icon Cares with the intent to help charities across, the island and really give back. So, of course, right in the midst of COVID is when we did Hope Hops Around, and it was basically giving back to shelters, women's shelter, Little Flower, which is an orphanage and a great, charity here on Long
Sure.
Island, and actually our local church as well. We put together over 400 Easter baskets, and we basically gave them to these charities. COVID happened, and we were very, now what? We couldn't fundraise. We couldn't really do a lot of different
Yeah,
things.
big shutdown.
But my kids and my team, we kind of rallied and were in the office and got these baskets together. And we felt really good because we were told that this was actually the last thing they received before they were shut down from receiving anything.
Very
So
nice.
it made the kids feel normal. And then now this year we did another amazing event, and we actually raised, Jaime, how much did we raise?
We raised close to $6,000,
Wonderful.
which was a huge difference compared to the previous year of what we fundraised for. So, yeah, with that being said, I feel like COVID finally has released a little bit of its reins to allow us to
Yeah.
do something of that
Oh, definitely.
nature.
Yeah. No, you can feel it.
So we're really
that's
excited
great.
about that, arm of our company. We are looking, I'm actually going to be meeting with some local people in regards to it, but we're looking to do something in September around the veterans, whether it's, meals for the veterans or what have you. We haven't decided, but that's going to be the next thing. So stay tuned, because I'll definitely be inviting you to whatever event it is.
Totally appreciate what you're doing for the community. So you talked about your business, and then you talked about what your passion for helping others. What do you like to do for fun? What floats your boat? What are you going to do this summer? Give us an idea
My
personally.
grandkids.
There you
I'm
go.
a
Okay.
grandmother of
Beautiful.
4. Yes, and
That's incredible.
thank you.
Oh, yeah.
And
You know what I mean? I mean, you
I
look
don't
very
know,
young.
she spreads herself so thin, just running around doing everything for everyone, so it's like kind of
So you
crazy.
get 4 at the same time?
I had 1. That was it for a while, and then boom, boom, boom. I got 3 in the last three years.
Gotcha.
Crazy, but the best thing ever. So on weekends, my daughter lives in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
I'm either on the ferry going over there, or she's coming over here. And little baby bum and the grandparents and mommies will understand what I'm talking about. These lullabies and just Chuck E. Cheese on Monday. It was my
Did it?
grandson's son, and it was like a time warp because I had taken my children little there, and my grandson turned 3, so we wanted to take him there, and he was like, "What is this?" He had never seen this, and I find that really is where my peace is at.
Yep.
And I have a lot of fun now with the kids. Like my husband says, it's like we got a do-over or something,
Yeah, that's wonderful. Now, growing up, what made you get into real estate and have the energy you do? What is the background? What did your parents do? Give me your childhood a little bit, just
a little bit. My parents, they're all entrepreneurs,
Okay.
and my mother comes from a long line of engineers and developers,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was in the bloodline. Even though I didn't realize, being little, going to my mom to the job sites to visit her.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So all of that, and then when the time was, for me to do it, I guess it was muscle memory, because I didn't have the fear that maybe normal people would have, because I had seen it so long in my family.
That's how life works.
Yeah.
I knew there was something there.
Yeah,
That's
and
great.
I went to law school. The last thing I
Uh-huh.
thought I was going to be was an entrepreneur, but this became available, and clearly it was what I was meant to do.
What's the word icon? Where did that come from?
So when I was basically in the transition of opening this business, I had taken a trip to Florida, and I had been exposed to a project, and they had named it the Icon, and Icon Brickle, actually.
Okay.
And that's where the inspiration came from.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very strong name. I like it.
thank you.
I know, by the way, you're a chamber partner and a director.
Yep.
Which is fantastic. That needs a lot of energy, so thanks for bringing your talents to the table there.
Thank you.
And we'll see you around town, and keep going.
Thank
I'm
you
really
for
proud of
having
you
us,
guys.
Kevin.
Thank you
This
so
was
much.
awesome.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You take care now.
Yay.